Do you sometimes feel stuck? This is the Healing Pendulum with your host, Kim De Boer. Working with the emotion code, Kim is here to assist you. The Healing Pendulum aims to support people to open their hearts through emotional transformations in order to bring more happiness and joy into their lives. So now, please welcome the host of the Healing Pendulum, Kim De Boer.
Welcome to the Healing Pendulum Show. I am your host, Kim De Boer, and we are coming to you live from TuneIn Radio and BBM Global Network. I am so happy you could be here today with me and join me for this show. This is my third show, and it's been fabulous. I've been having a good time, and I hope that I'm providing you lots of good information. We're going to have a great show today full of information and education that will give more clarity about how the body-mind functions and how you really can take control of your health. Now, I always start off with a quote in my show, and the quote that I picked today is, if you spend time on your health now, then you won't have to spend your time in sickness later. And that is by an unknown writer, but it really does make a lot of sense. So if we do spend time on our health and be very mindful of what's going on, we will, have more time to enjoy ourselves and later on in life. So for those of you who are here for the first time, I am Kim De Boer, and I like to call myself a holistic health detective. And I am the founder of the Healing Pendulum, and that's a transformational healing practice located in Vancouver, Canada. And I am also an author in the #1 best-selling book, Healthy Living: The Secrets to Natural Health and Wellness. Now, my passion is to help discover, investigate, and resolve your health, wealth, and relationship issues. I do specialize in the emotion code and the body code energy healing modalities. And these were developed by Dr. Bradley Nelson, who is a holistic chiropractor. Now, these modalities, the body code actually it's a combination of ancient Chinese medicine, kinesiology, which is muscle testing, magnetic therapy, and quantum physics. So this modality or these modalities, they give me the tools to uncover the mysteries of your health, wealth, and relationship issues. And my goal is to bring more awareness to as many people as I can that we are in the driver's seat when it comes to our health and that we are in control. And just by making a few simple changes, we can really impact our health and how that we live the rest of our lives. So today I will be sharing some information on different forms of trapped emotions. In my previous shows, I was talking about trapped emotions, but there are different types of emotions, and I would really like to, educate you on the different types. So we'll be digging deeper into how emotional, physical, and psychic traumas that have occurred in our past, and just how they affect our health, the state of our health today. They all make an impact, though. It happened in our past reflects on how we are living our life today. So it's imperative, I feel it's imperative that we understand that illness and disease does not happen overnight, and that the true underlying causes are from some form of trauma or emotional stress that occurred in your past, or also in the past of our ancestors. I always say to my clients, it's just, when we're getting into the ancestral stuff, it's like, it's not your stuff. Like, it's not your stuff. It's just been passed down to you. So the first step is to recognize that this could be happening to you, and just to be open to the possibilities that perhaps your chronic pain that you're experiencing, or maybe the mood swings, or if you're suffering from depression and anxiety, if you're having trouble sleeping or have insomnia, or if you're feeling anger, if you have panic attacks, and feeling of isolation, are mainly caused by your emotional baggage, or can be caused by your core and limiting beliefs from your childhood. Did you know that 80% of illness today is caused by emotional imbalances? I mean, this is an incredible statistic. And I see that this is true all the time in my practice. If somebody will come in with for instance, with neck and shoulder pain, and we'll get into the body code, and the underlying cause may be a imbalance in the kidneys, which is the muscle connection to that area. And then it may lead me into, say, the liver, and then it might lead me into the spleen. So there's imbalances in all these areas. But inevitably, when we get to the core reason or underlying cause for your neck and shoulder pain, it's going to be either a trapped emotion, or one of these other types of emotions I'm going to be talking about, or some kind of a trauma, a physical, emotional, or psychic trauma that has occurred in your life. So it's just amazing that, you can go through, actually also by just releasing that trauma or that emotion, all of those organs become happy, and the neck and shoulder pain actually goes away. It's amazing. So we are emotional beings, and when we have trapped emotions, they actually penetrate into our cellular intelligence, and like they go cellular. And if not released, they will eventually cause serious illness or disease. So it's about understanding and being aware of your body and mind connection, and being aware of our thoughts and being mindful of our words, both our inside words that we tell ourselves and our outside words. And we really need to be aware of what our bodies are trying to tell us. We need to listen to our bodies. Our bodies are always talking to us. And as I'd said previously, headaches are not normal. Stomach aches are not normal. Aches and pains are not normal. They are your body's way of talking to you and telling you that there is something else going on, that there is an imbalance, and that it needs your help. And those imbalances, they could be a nutritional imbalance. It could be an emotional imbalance. It could be, it could be something to do with maybe you're not exercising. It could be like so many different things. And our bodies, like when one system is out of balance, then it causes the other systems to be out of balance in the body. So just to explain a little further, is like one emotion can set back your immune function to like 1%. And I've seen it happen over and over and over again. So just want to make you so that you're aware of that. So we're going to go to a break, and I just want to let you know that when we come back, that we will be talking more about these different trapped emotions. And so hopefully you'll stick by, and we'll see you and talk to you in a couple more minutes. This is the Healing Pendulum. I'm Kim De Boer, helping you on your journey to better health and more happiness, and we'll be right back.
WikiWags brings harmony back into your home for male dogs and their owners. Inventor and entrepreneur Linda Jangula has created the disposable doggy diaper wraps made with the male dog in mind. The built-in wicking ability prevents rashing and other potential health issues for your dog. Each wrap comes in 4 sizes and has dual reattachable magic tabs for easy adjustments. And each size has a 7-inch logo strip for adjustability. so they are comfortable and easy to use. No more fuss, just leave the mess to us. Whether you're in or out, your dog will be free to run about. Stop cleaning and start enjoying your home, and you can even leave your dog alone. To order your WikiWags, visit wikiwags.com, or to find out where to buy WikiWags in your town, visit mywikiwags.com and start enjoying having man's best friend around.
Global Glory. That's the work of Dr. Marina McLean, COO of Global Glory, whose calling is to serve God. A first-generation British-born Londoner of Jamaican descent, Dr. McLean inherited the hunger for the Word from her father, who was a Bible teacher. Growing up, her home was filled with missionaries from the Caribbean islands and America, and she travels the world preaching the gospel. She has a Bachelor of Arts degree in theology and an honorary doctorate of divinity and Christian counseling from Friends International Christian University. Dr. McLean is also a songwriter and recording artist, and her songs are written during summits and conferences in the presence of God. She's recorded 3 worship albums to date and is in ministry for 28 years alongside her husband, Dr. Rennie McLean, who shares her passion. Visit www.globalglory.org or on Facebook at Global Glory. Call 866-244-5679 and feel the glory.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Kim De Boer, hosting the Healing Pendulum show, and we're coming to you live from BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio. So let's see. So in the we're talking about we're going to talk about some more emotions that you may not know about are actually happening in your body. Types of emotions, and also we're going to get into some talking about trauma. And so in the previous show, I did talk a lot about trapped emotions, as well as the heart wall, which it's all trapped emotions in the heart wall. However, I'd like to just go further into the different types of the emotions, what they are and how they present themselves. And this will help you to understand more about how our emotions affect our overall mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual well-being. And we need help to overcome the mental, emotional blockages and work on the emotional aspects to speed up that healing process, and also to prevent issues down the road. So a lot of our emotions are, from our past, obviously, and they really do need to be released, and these emotional blockages need to be taken care of before we can move forward. So in overcoming our mental and emotional blockages, I felt that more understanding of how these emotions get trapped would be needed. So, did you know that our conscious mind accesses only, now this is an amazing statistic, is our conscious mind accesses only 0.00000000001% of our total intelligence. I mean, that means that the subconscious mind is running the show behind the scenes. So it is the domain of our emotional baggage, our core beliefs, and our limiting beliefs from our childhood programming, and is drawing things into our lives that we do not want, that do not serve us. So what we need to do is to identify and release the hidden emotional baggage or the wounds from our past that you don't know about. I mean, you don't know about these wounds because they happen very young in your life, and they are holding you back from achieving your greatness in all areas of your life. So we're going to go into these emotions. I just felt that understanding them more and where they come from would be beneficial to you. So the first one that we're going to talk about is nesting. Now, this is when there's more than one emotion that's lodged in a particular area in the body. They can be different emotions with no obvious connections, but what I see the most is several of the same emotion. And the most common one that I see is anxiety. So I'm doing a session with one of my clients, and they come in, and it's anxiety after anxiety after anxiety after anxiety after anxiety. And these are the nesting emotions. And I think probably the most number of nesting emotions that I have released one after the other has been about 10 or 12. And it was just, no wonder that person was feeling so anxious. And what the beautiful thing is, the side effect of releasing all of these emotions are a definite reduction of pain in that area. So they come in with, say, pain that's a 9 or a 10, and they leave with, their pain level is like a 1 or a 2 or maybe a 3. So it's a definite reduction in the pain that they're feeling. The next type of emotion that I want to talk about is absorbed. And this is also very common. And this means that the emotional energy was absorbed from somebody else, that it was generated from someone else's body and was absorbed by you. I find this quite often when an emotion comes up as being trapped at a very young age, say age 1 or 2, or even 3 or younger. And it could be absorbed from someone who was close to them, like your mother or your father, or even a sibling. Or you could have literally picked up the energy or vibration of this emotion that the person was feeling and took it on as your own. And I see this all the time. So you can absorb emotions from other people. So again, not your own, but you make it your own. The next type of emotion I'd like to talk about is prenatal. And these are emotions that were trapped in the body while in the womb. And they usually occur in the 3rd trimester. And there are actually 2 kinds of prenatal emotions. And the first one is absorbed from the mother. So when the mother experiences an emotion, and it gets absorbed by the fetus. So, anything that's going on in the mother's life while they're pregnant, if it's emotional or it's traumatic or whatever is going on, it actually can get absorbed by the fetus. Now, another prenatal emotion is actually created by the fetus. And this I find to be very fascinating. Studies have shown that the unborn child can certainly generate and experience its own emotions, and that they can get trapped in their bodies. But however, they are usually a response to some kind of distress of the mother, but can always also be from distress of the father, or perhaps even someone else who is close to the mother. And I just find that very fascinating. So, whether you've had children or you're thinking of having children or you're pregnant, we need to be very mindful of our emotions and what could possibly be passed down to our children. Now, there's another emotion that we're going to talk about, and that is inherited emotions. And these are trapped emotions that are from an emotional event that occurred in an ancestor's life. And they keep getting passed down through generations to either the mother or the father. So we're going to talk more about that after the break. So stay tuned. We will be right back. This is the Healing Pendulum. I am your host, Kim De Boer, coming to you live from BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio.
MJ Dammit is the owner of Expect to be Empowered, a company whose specialty is empowering people to live their best life by following their heart and accepting themselves unconditionally. After studying and making personal changes, MJ now focuses on giving others tools for self-empowerment. She provides individual and group workshops for people who are physically, emotionally, and spiritually blocked. Inspired by her work at Expect to be Empowered, MJ authored the book Waves of Blue Light, Heal the Heart and Free the Soul, with accompanying empowerment cards. She is a Spirit Book of the Year Gold Medal Living Now Book Award winner. And her book is a #1 Amazon bestseller in spirituality and was a 2012 Gold Medal winner, recognized as the Living Now Spirit Book of the Year. An inspirational speaker, MJ will show you how you can repurpose every area of your life. Your life did not just happen to you. You chose it, which means you can change it. Visit www.expecttobeempowered.com or call 866-264-8024.
Certified professional coach Pamela Reeves can help you with your relationships. Motivational and image coaching are just some of the ways she can help you enhance all aspects of your life. Her book, Is It Love or Merely a Sick Attachment?, helps readers clearly distinguish healthy, loving relationships from toxic ones. Ms. Reeves has put her words into action through Ray of Hope Kenya, an international initiative that provides outreach to victims of abusive relationships there with the goal of helping them rebuild their lives and the tools to avoid abuse. Ms. Reeves operates various business interests through her umbrella network, Nella LLC, and credits her success to her diverse work experience. Whatever your goals, whether striking a balance, reinventing your image, or simply lifting your lifestyle, Pamela Reeves will help you achieve them. Your life, your call. Dial 410-902-5715 or email Pamela at pamregon@verizon.net. She's also on the web at pamreeves.com and on Twitter at Pamela_Reeves.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you're enjoying the show so far. I am Kim De Boer from the Healing Pendulum, coming to you live from TuneIn Radio and BBM Global Network. And before the break, we were getting into the inherited emotions. So again, these are trapped emotions that are from an emotional event that occurred in our ancestors' life. And they just keep getting passed down through conception from either the mother or the father. I have released trapped emotions dating back over 100 generations. And that's 22 years per generation. So that's over 2,000 years ago. So this emotion was trapped by an ancestor, say 2,000 years ago, and it just kept getting passed down through conception over and over and over again for 2,000 years. I mean, it's just incredible. And like this, it's similar to inheriting the DNA from our biological parents. Inherited emotions are like recessed genes. And in that, not all the descendants will inherit the same emotion. So what that means is that one of the siblings may get a trapped emotion from the mother's side dating back, maybe it's anxiety, but the son did not inherit that emotion. He inherited a different emotion, perhaps from the father's side. So it's quite phenomenal. Now there are some more emotions I want to talk about, and the next one is preconception. Now these emotions come up occasionally, and that is when we test to find out when the emotion occurred. We always find out what age it occurred, and when we're looking at this, it goes back into before you were born. And so these are preconception, obviously before you were conceived. I've had this experience where I was led into preconception. I will talk about that another time. But some people refer to this as past life. But some people don't believe in that. And some people refer this to when they were with God and before they came into this world. So they were in heaven and it was such a beautiful place, and then they got sent to Earth, and however that works. So some people, that's the preconception of being with God previously, and other people, it's past life experiences that you bring through to this life. It's, preconceptions are great emotions. The next one I'm going to talk about is emotional resonance. Now, sometimes an emotion can leave our DNA ringing. So it's like a bell, ringing like a bell. It's like hitting a bell with a hammer, and you get that resonation coming off of that bell. And like these emotions, they resonate throughout our whole body. And unlike a trapped emotion, they're caused by intense emotional experiences, and that can also be inherited. So these emotional resonances can also be inherited. And did you know that all physical trauma causes mechanical damage in the body, and that if not addressed appropriately, can lay the foundation for more serious diseases later in life? So we're going to be talking more about physical traumas and emotional traumas and psychic traumas, and how they affect our health. And it's, I'm sure that everybody has had these traumas. I think it's pretty safe to say that everybody's had a physical, emotional, or psychic trauma. And by psychic trauma, I mean like a mental trauma. So in our world, it's when 2 or 3 emotions get trapped at the same time, and that causes a psychic trauma. So I'm pretty sure that we've all experienced some form of trauma. So, falling out of a tree, being in a car accident, banging our knee, hitting our elbow, or emotional trauma, which could be the loss of a loved one. It could be a divorce. It could be, just anything emotional that affects your body, and then it gets trapped in the body. So we're going to be talking more about that, just so you have a better understanding. But for now, I would just like to talk to you about, that I hope that you're enjoying the show so far, and that you are gathering some useful information that you can take away with you. And if you know of anyone who may be interested in learning more about the body-mind connection, please share this with them, as you just don't know who it may help. And I'd also really like to invite you to visit my website at www.thehealingpendulum.com, and please, ask me some questions. I'd love to hear from you. And I'd also like to invite you to enter a chance to win a health assessment with me. It's a $97 value. And in this assessment, we will determine your overall health at this time. We will test your immune function, your heart messages to your tissues, your brain messages to your organs and glands. And we will also find out if you have any pathogens in your body, such as viral, mold, parasitic, or fungal infections, and that you may not know about. And we will also test you for heavy metal toxicity. And this is such a huge thing right now. So, test all your organs to see if they're happy or not. So, and the lucky winner will be announced on the last Monday of every month. And you will also receive my monthly health and happiness tips that I believe will be very informative, with lots of great ideas and education on health and wellness. So if you can take the time to visit the website, ask some questions, perhaps get into the draw, that would be fantastic. And so now we're going to be going back to learn how trauma affects our bodies, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Escape from Hell, A Woman's Story is a passionate book that tells the true story of author Rhonda Knutsen's journey through the darkness and adversity of abuse. The book takes readers on an emotional trail from the depths of despair to the heights of forgiveness and understanding. She was inspired to help others, and her book is a vital tool through this process. Faithful to God and devotional to her beacon of hope, Rhonda Knutsen is a perfect example of finding a guiding light that helped her come through the dark and into the light. Her book can assist you in overcoming your challenges with abuse. The publication of Escape from Hell, A Woman's Story is a triumphant achievement, and it can help you take ownership of your own experience of abuse and come through stronger than before. Rhonda is currently working on 2 more books, Shadows of Corruption and Coast to Coast on a Piece of Toast. To read more about this inspiring author and purchase her books, visit rhondaknutsen.com or go to www.amazon.com.
Are you stressed? Is your stress driving you crazy? Do you know there are many ways to relieve the stress? The Spirit Within Massage and Hypnosis Clinic does just that. Reduce your stress plus so much more. Established in 1997, the Spirit Within Massage and Hypnosis Clinic offers an approach to wellness for those individuals who choose to either utilize appropriate complementary methods to enhance their current medical care, or to those individuals who are on their personal journey toward improved health and wellness through the use of therapeutic bodywork, Reiki energy healing, or hypnosis. The Spirit Within Massage and Hypnosis Clinic is owned by Dr. Judy Dean, a registered nurse and board-certified massage therapist and medical hypnotherapist in LaPorte, Indiana. Visit www.spiritwithinmassage-hypnosis.com to see all services offered by Dr. Judy. For a free personal consultation, please call Dr. Judy Dean at 219-326-1380. The Spirit Within Massage and Hypnosis Clinic, 219-326-1380.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Kim De Boer from the Healing Pendulum, coming to you live from BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio. And just before the break, I had talked a little bit about trauma and the effects it has on our bodies. And again, I think it would be pretty safe to say that every person on this earth has experienced some form of trauma in their life. And actually, being born can be a very traumatic experience. I mean, when you think about it, you're coming from a very warm, comfortable, safe place in the mother's womb for 9 months. And then all of a sudden you're being pushed through this tube and thrust into the world. And the first thing you see in most cases are these masked people and these bright lights. And it's just like, whoa. And so really, and that's how you start your life on earth. So really, being born is your first trauma. And of course, as I pointed out earlier, is you can actually have these some emotional trauma also when you're in the womb. So traumatic energies that have occurred in our past are what we call post-traumatic energies. And these are energies that distort the energy field in our bodies after experiencing a physical, emotion, or a mental trauma. The way we release the trauma is in the same way that we release trapped emotions. And that is by identifying the event, so identifying what it was, when it occurred, and then we release it from the body, and we're using magnetic therapy. Now, you will learn more about how this all works in the next show, when we're going to be talking more about the meridians or the energy rivers in the body, the energy channels, and how this all works. So next week, I have an acupuncturist that will be my guest, and we will be going into length with these meridians in the body. But for now, just know that they can be released very easily and simply. So the first trauma that I want to talk about is a physical trauma. And the physical trauma would be something like a car accident, like I said earlier, or taken a fall, being punched or hit, something that hurt you physically. Again, it could be like hitting your elbow or stubbing your toe or banging your knee, and we all know how much that hurts, or banging your head on a door or a kitchen door or a car door or something, and breaking a bone. Breaking a bone is like and could be a huge physical trauma, and also some kind of a physical blow or extreme stress can cause a physical trauma, and even an extreme illness. Experiencing a extreme illness could also be put in the category as a physical trauma. So most of the time, this energy will be processed and then released from the body automatically. However, sometimes this energy from the trauma gets stuck in the body. It gets lodged in our physical body. So when you think of a car accident, for instance, and this is an example, I love this example, and it just is very visual for me. And it is an example that Dr. Brad Lee Nelson uses. And it's just to think of a car accident and just to remember that everything is energy. That's one thing we do need to remember. And you just think about how much energy is being transferred. Like there are hundreds of tons of kinetic energy that crumples and damages both cars. And that is what gives you the whiplash or other injuries that you incur from that accident. So just imagine when this energy gets lodged in the body, it will distort the energy field and it will interfere with your healing progress. So if you have ever experienced, any of these physical traumas and you're still suffering from the pain that was manifested from the accident or the incident, releasing the energy of the trauma could significantly improve your healing process. So many of us, we've been in car accidents, and it takes years and years and years for them to heal, and sometimes they never do. So by releasing this physical trauma, the energy of this physical trauma from your body, it allows your body to heal itself, and it allows those energy rivers to give the right amount of energy and the nutrients to those areas. So I had a client who had a few car accidents actually, and she was still experiencing a lot of back pain and neck pain for years, like for 30 years. And since that time, she really had trouble sleeping, and she just could not get rid of the pain without taking medication. So she came to see me, and after discovering and releasing the physical traumas around the accidents, her pain eased considerably, and she could finally have a good night's sleep. And so she suffered for 30 years. And in I think it was 2 sessions or 3 sessions, she was sleeping again, and her pain had significantly reduced. So that's fabulous. Now, the other trauma that I want to talk about is a psychic trauma, which is a mental trauma, and it's much the same as an emotional trauma. So I've actually paired these two. So it's a psychic and emotional trauma. And the psychic trauma is when there are either 2 or 3 emotions that get trapped in the body at the same time. And these developed when these powerful emotions are felt simultaneously and become trapped together in a big ball of energy. And as mentioned previously, it can be the size of an orange, it can be the size of a cantaloupe, and it can even get bigger than that. And it's a big ball of energy in the body that's blocking, that's causing a blockage. So they usually originate from emotional traumas where feeling are extreme and tensions are high. And they could be brought on by a very emotional event. And so I'm going to go more into an example of an event that occurred that actually affected all of us, everybody in the world it affected. So I'm going to go more into that when we come back from our break. And so stick around and we will be right back.
Jenny Friend is a licensed marriage and family therapist and a certified clinical sexologist, commonly known as a sex therapist, with over 30 years of experience in the field of sexuality. She's been a researcher and teacher and is further trained in human development over the lifespan. She's also a published author and a radio personality. Her specialized training in lifespan developments means she can help individuals, couples, and families through difficult developmental phases. Her primary ways of working are through the tools of cognitive, behavioral, and psychoenergetics theories and techniques. Couples, individual men and women, and families are also welcome. She can meet in her office in Costa Mesa, California, or on the internet through Skype at Jenny Friend MFT. Call 714-210-9200. You can also send an email from her website at www.centerforclarity.org. That phone number again is 714-210-9200. My Dreams, My Challenges, and Joys is an inspiring book by author Linda Genazzo. This real-life account of raising a child with autism from birth to adulthood takes you on a journey of compassion, love, and hope as it tells the incredible story of a devoted family and their beloved daughter. Together, they faced adversity and never stopped believing they would find the help they were seeking. A breast cancer survivor, Linda Genazzo has a giving heart. With a background in social work with the mentally ill and the homeless, Linda continues to help families in her community, and her book, My Dreams, My Challenges and Joys, brings greater awareness to autism and those families in need. To purchase your copy, visit www.lindagenazzo.com. It's also available on Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com. Don't delay. Get your copy today.
Welcome back. This is a Healing Pendulum show. I am your host, Kim De Boer, coming to you live from BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio. And just before the break, we were talking about psychic traumas and how they can affect our health. And I'm going to give an example of how a psychic trauma can be brought on. And this is quite huge. And this was, it could be brought on by an emotional event. And I'm going to bring up 9/11. And that's when basically the whole world was in shock and everyone was feeling emotions such as anger and fear and grief and sorrow and sadness, terror, anxiety, despair, and panic. And this caused a lot of people to experience psychic traumas in their bodies, which cause imbalances in the respective organs and tissues. So it's like a domino effect. And it's like when one thing goes out of balance, several other areas are forced to become imbalanced as well. And they can also occur from everyday stresses. I mean, that's a huge example. But these psychic traumas, they can occur from everyday stresses. And if someone is not in very good control of the emotions, it could be one after the other. And I found that in my practice. And I'd also want to mention that these can be inherited as well. So inherited from our ancestors and dating back several generations. As I said earlier, they can go back hundreds of generations, like 2,000 years ago plus. Not always, but sometimes. Now, the really big trauma that I want to talk about is emotional trauma. And we all have a lot of emotional trauma. We all have a lot of anxiety these days. And like some people, experience strong emotional reactions following a traumatic event. And sometimes these feelings will just go away after a few days. However, sometimes they do get stuck in the body and they're causing symptoms in our body, which include it can be nightmares, it could be loss of memory, it could be confusion, it can cause mood swings, social isolation and withdrawal, again, insomnia, chronic pain, depression, shame, guilt, and overwhelming fear, and just change in behavioral patterns, and anger and emotional numbing. And the list goes on. It goes on and on and on. And this is all being caused by emotional traumas. So you can see there's a lot of symptoms in there that, again, when you release these emotional traumas, those symptoms go away. Now, there is a reason for this. There is a reason why we hold on to these emotions, and I just want to explain that to you. So, there are two kinds of memory. There's explicit memory, which is recall, and this is when it's, you remember what you had for dinner or where you left your keys, and other things that just happen in your day-to-day life. And now this is called recall, and it actually doesn't start until around age 3. So this recall memory does not start until age 3. And I know that a lot of people, including myself, I really don't remember anything before age 3. That's when my memories start. So that's interesting. So that now there is also the implicit memory, and this memory is available. It's right from birth and even before birth. So that would go into preconception memories and prenatal and those kind of emotions. And this is from all your experiences. And this memory is available, it's actually the memory. It's what the body code and the emotion code work with, which is the subconscious mind. And this subconscious mind, it continues to store new emotional memories for the rest of your life. And it influences so much of what you think and act today. So many scientists are calling the first several months after birth the fourth trimester, which is very interesting. And it's because so much brain growth unfolds at this time. And that is when our subconscious mind is being programmed, or what I call pre-programmed. So if a child has a lot of chaos as an infant, that is when the brain is encoded. And inevitably, in all relationships moving forward, they will have a feeling of chaos within those relationships, because it's what they know, because it's what they've been programmed. So the implicit memory or subconscious mind is always running in the background, and it's operating our reactions every day. So researchers of the brain have learned that how parents interact with their children affect the baby's brain, how the baby's brain will grow. So if a parent or a mother, they have a depressed brain, they're suffering from depression, that will create that same depression within the child. And I think that's an amazing phenomena, what we're learning today. And how we act and think is actually driven by these early events that we can't even recall in the implicit memory. And if we don't deal with these traumas that you have suffered, the patterns will keep repeating themselves and will manifest in many different ways. Now, I've worked with several children from the ages, say, 9 months to 17 years. Actually, 8 months, I believe, is the youngest child I worked with. And some of them had behavioral issues. And just by releasing the energy of these traumas, emotional traumas mostly, and trapped emotions from their bodies, they can return to living a normal life without medications. And it was just amazing how much stuff was revealed in these sessions. I call it stuff. It's just a combination of so much stuff. that trapped, and the traumas that, had already been stored in the body. So, it has been proven that these traumas, if not released from the body, they will eventually cause serious illness, disease. And again, if you had experienced a lot of trauma in your life and are suffering from illness and disease or chronic pain, releasing these traumas can be very beneficial to your healing process. So I'm going to go into things that you can do to help that process after the break. So don't go away. We will be right back.
Horses, mystical, present, past, and future, all in one. Wild, free, domestic, and healing for everyone. Betty Hames knows this and has put her horses to good use with Nature Connect Equine Coaching. Her mission is to help people affected by the loss of hope and trust in their lives and to rediscover the wonders of nature through nature-connected learning so they can rebuild their lives and live peacefully with newfound hope, trust, and joy. Betty Hames is also a certified elite life coach, a Washington State certified counselor, and chemical dependency professional. She is passionate about partnering nature with healing, and through horses, she sees amazing results and transformation in lives that might have otherwise been lost. Call 509-830-9225 and visit her at HamesLifeCoaching.com. Hold your horses. You're in for the ride of your life. Abuse happens every moment of every day. According to national statistics in the United States, every 2 minutes, someone is sexually assaulted, and every 10 minutes, a report of child abuse is made. Those currently struggling with abuse, or if you know someone who has been the victim of abuse, you are not alone. Whether physical, mental, emotional, or sexual, no, there is hope, there is help, there is healing. Author Tammy Hall has written a book from her own account of abuse called Journey of Courage that can guide you through your own personal journey of healing. Stop struggling through life. It's your story. It's your healing. And it can begin with the first turn of the page. Visit www.journeyofcourage.com to begin your path to becoming the person you were ultimately created to be. Healed, hopeful, happy.
Welcome back. This is the Healing Pendulum Show. I am your host, Kim De Boer, coming to you live from BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio. So welcome back. And I'm just going to go through, we were talking about trauma and how it affects our health from a very, very young age. Now, trauma can be dealt with in various different ways. So as an adult, we can give ourself time to adjust. We can ask for support from people who care about us. We can communicate our experiences, find a local support group, establish or reestablish routines that will help us. And we can engage in healthy behaviors so that we can cope with excess stress. And if you're in a traumatic state, it's important that not to make any major life decisions. But however, childhood trauma goes so much deeper and will probably need professional help. So you could go see a psychologist. That's one way too, that you can go talk it out and release these emotions. Another way is hypnosis. Hypnosis can be a really good way to release these traumas from your body. Reiki can help with releasing emotions. And then there's Bowen treatments as well, and that's releases emotions and releases pain from the body. Or you can seek out a motion code or body code practitioner, which is the modality that I use. And they're, we're all over the world. And that person can connect to your subconscious mind and find out what the emotion is, what age it occurred, and release it instantly. And this process is totally non-invasive, and you don't have to tell the story or recall any of the trauma. You don't have to relive it. So the trauma or the emotion around the trauma just vanishes. It's an amazing process. So I hope that you've enjoyed the show, and I hope that you have learned something new that you can share with your friends and family. And when you get a chance, please go to my website, www.thehealingpendulum.com, and enter to win a session with me, or just to ask a question. I would just really love to hear from you. And I'd just like to say that next week will be the start of our 4-week series on circuits and systems in the body. And to start off the series, I have a very special guest on the show, and her name is Patricia Peterson, and she is a registered acupuncturist, a holistic life and health coach, and a writer. And we're going to be going into the systems of the body. So I really want to thank you very much for joining me today, and I hope you did get some information that is useful for you. And again, I'll be back here next Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I really hope to see you then. So see you next week, and remember that health matters. Health.
You've been listening to The Healing Pendulum with Kim De Boer. If something has happened in your past that's caused you to hold on unconsciously to negative emotions, then this is the place for you. Each week on The Healing Pendulum with Kim De Boer.
You've been listening to the BBM Global Network. The ideas, views, and opinions of this broadcast are those of the participants of the program and are not necessarily the ideas, views, and opinions of the BBM Global Network Company.
Hear that? It's the sound of ATM fees taking a bite of the things you buy with your cash. Luckily, with a TD Unlimited checking account, you pay no TD fee at any ATM in Canada. Open an account today. TD, ready for you. You may pay a fee to a non-TD ATM provider.